Welcome to What's a Mom podcast. You are listening to Doulas Petra
and Jacqueline.
Motherhood can be isolating and hard.
We are two doulas who want to provide a safe place to talk about all things mom.
From pregnancy
To birth.
to postpartum.
To parenting.
Join us as we have real conversations about real life.
Hi guys, welcome to our podcast tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Today's topic for episode number 37 is
Really?
prep after baby.
37. Sheesh, really?
Super exciting.
That's crazy. I can't believe that. Yeah, that is exciting.
Yeah,
This is a good topic. I feel like
it is.
the more moms I've talked to, they say to me that they wish that they would have put as much energy in prepping for themselves for postpartum than their babies. So I think this is a really good one.
It is very true.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to be missed, and
Yeah.
it's not good.
Well,
Gotta think of ourselves, ladies.
we do. So maybe we can cover some like postpartum prep for baby, and then we'll cover some postpartum prep for mom.
Sure, sounds good.
So I guess one of the first things, like you said, that most people do think about is prepping for the baby. And so
All the time.
yeah, because I mean, you're having a baby and you're like, oh, whether it's your first or not, it doesn't matter. That's usually what you
Absolutely.
think about. So
Yep, you're just like, you have the nursery ready, you have all the diapers you need, you have all the clothes you need, you have all the birth cloths you need,
yeah,
you have it all, right? Like usually you're just like ready to go.
yeah. It's
What are
true.
some other things that you would prep for baby? Like if you're going to be like nursing, you might have a breast pump, or, if you're going to do bottles.
Then you would need bottles. Some people like to
Do both.
buy the fancy bottle sterilizers.
I
but
never
I never
my
did
kids
either.
never took bottles, but ever.
I never bothered with that. You can sterilize bottles by just putting them in boiling water on the stovetop. But
yeah.
even the dishwasher will work if you do heated dry with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'll still
Actually, I had a bottle warmer. I think I used it a few times.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we did with Lorelai. With the other two, we never did because they just wanted to nurse. And then the kids, it was more of like the thing of we want to feed the baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we did, and she took a couple.
Yeah.
So it was a nice break.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some people like to use that kind of thing too. There's also wipes warmers.
I know. Did you ever have a wipe warmer? They're like, I don't want my baby to have cold wipes on their butt.
I did with our first because I did.
Oh, you did?
I did fully exclusive cloth diapering.
Yeah.
So I make my own wipe solution, and I put the cloth wipes in the solution, and then they get really, really cold. Otherwise,
Oh,
and I felt horrible. I mean, it's also my first baby. So I feel horrible with like him screaming at night in the middle of the night when I'd be changing his diaper. I'm like, I want you to go back to sleep as quick as you can. So I did use it then, but then by my second, I was like, whatever. They have to get used to this.
that's funny. I don't think I ever used those. Like, whatever. I think I would just like put it in my hand and kind of like, warm it up before I stuck it on their butt. But
Yeah, some people
I don't
love.
know what does that. The thumbs up, like, I don't get it.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
see that?
that was weird. If you're watching the recording, yeah, give a thumbs up.
Give us a thumbs up. I don't know why. I think sometimes if you actually do this, or you just like nod a certain way, it will give you the thumbs up. So anyways, that just distracted me. I'm like, what the heck?
That's funny.
I know.
What else can we use for baby? Oh, you can prep, like trying to figure out where baby's gonna sleep. So there's like lots of different ways baby can sleep. You can have baby doing bed sharing where the baby sleeps with mom. There's safe ways to do this.
Yeah.
You can have
Lots of safe
baby.
ways.
Yeah.
Have
You
them in a
can-
bassinet.
Yeah, baby in a bassinet, either in your room or in their own room, whichever you're choosing to do.
Yep.
You can have them in a crib right from the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of different things.
Thinking about how you want baby to sleep that way. There's swaddling. You can think about if you want to swaddle your baby. There's special. You can buy swaddling blankets, or you can buy sleep sacks for sleeping.
Yep. If you want a carrier, if you're thinking that you'll really like a carrier, also carriers are lifesavers. Absolutely,
Yes.
especially hands-free. Like us moms, like your work as a mom doesn't stop when you have a baby. You're just like more exhausted, but you still have to cook. You still have to clean.
Yeah.
You still have to make meals, right? Like it's a lot.
That is true.
You still got to take your kids to activities like Petra does. And yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah, and there's a few different types of carriers out there. You can you can always contact us if you have any questions about them, but there's also the groups on social media, like on Facebook,
everywhere.
And
Yeah,
bunch
absolutely.
Of different yeah, with people who can give you lots of advice on that. You have to decide if you're going to do cloth diapering or disposable diapering, and then buy the appropriate diapers.
Yep. How many did you cloth diaper? 3?
I cloth diapered my first. My second I did for a little bit, but I had postpartum depression, so I kind of quit. And then I started again with my third.
Yeah.
And then my fourth, it was just too much to keep up with. I had too much laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she never had. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I've done both.
Whatever works for you, whatever is less stressful.
There's pros and cons to doing both. So really, it's just personal preference in the end.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What's another thing that you can prep for a baby?
Car seats. You have to decide, do you want a bucket seat or do you want just like the car seat that stays in the vehicle? Some people prefer that so they don't have to buy a new one after.
Yeah. Absolutely. It saves you money.
You can get the convertible ones.
They even have like these new ones where it like goes into a stroller. Have you seen those?
The car seat turns into a stroller?
Yeah, it does.
It
totally does. Yeah. So you just like I see a whole bunch of like celebrities online having it with their kids.
Wow.
And so they take it, and they put it in there and then they take it out and then it folds in, it comes out into a stroller and then
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because it's easier and then you don't have to mess around, right? It just like locks into a seatbelt and
I wonder how much that costs though.
Probably a pretty penny, but
Probably.
you can definitely shop around, like Petra said.
Yeah.
Or whichever one is the best fit for you. And like a stroller, you have to decide like.
Yeah, what kind of stroller
Are you gonna? Do you want to jog? Do you want walk? Do you want to whatever? There's so many options.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots and lots. What else could you prep for a baby? I mean, that's pretty much.
If you are going to formula feed.
Oh, you need that, yeah.
You need to think about the type of formula that you're going to use because there's lots of different options for that out there as well.
Tons, especially if your kid has like an allergy and stuff to milk and.
Yeah, you have to be willing to be able to change accordingly because that can. Maybe you are expecting you're going to be able to use one kind and your baby can't tolerate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there's lots of groups too.
Yeah.
Lots of knowledge out there.
Absolutely, there is. Yeah. It's also, I think, important to have some of the essentials for emergencies. So, for example, having some medicine for if your baby got sick, whether that's homeopathic or pharmaceutical or both.
Yeah.
Just preparing for different things.
Yeah.
Having a baby thermometer that you can use, or one of those ones that check on the skin. So you're,
Yeah.
either way, like, as long as you
Yeah.
have something to check baby's temperature.
Yeah.
Uh, if
That's funny you said that because I didn't have that. And then somebody who came to my baby shower got me one of those.
yeah,
And I was just like, I never even thought of that.
yeah,
Because you're thinking the cute clothes and the cute shoes
yeah.
and everything
Well,
else.
a lot of times you don't think about it until you need it, right?
No. And even like baby clippers and like
Nail clippers, yeah, unless you want to bite the nails off. But
a
I,
hairbrush. A lot of people do that. Yeah.
yeah, if your baby has hair, you'll want a hairbrush. If they don't, you can still get like the soft, like special brushes that are
Yeah.
help the scalp.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think what else. I like to have coconut oil on hand myself because I use it for many things.
Oh, so many things just
Yeah,
to moisturize baby's dry skin.
yeah,
Because when they come out, they can have like flaky skin. I know Lorelai had a
yeah,
little bit of that this time.
yeah,
And yeah, it just melts away. It just comes off. It's also really good for cradle cap too.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You can just
And
rub
it
it
doesn't have the
on the dry skin on the head.
all the yucky chemicals that a lot of different things have, right? So
That's true. And then I always have a little bit in a little tiny mason jar that I use for like a diaper cream,
yeah.
especially in the beginning with that sticky meconium poo. I like to use coconut.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
And then
think that's
having lots and lots of the receiving blankets.
oh yeah. I mean, I don't feel like I used a ton, but some people use like so many, or like they're. I remember someone when I first had a kid, they're like, "Oh, make sure you have like so many receiving blankets and like so many pairs of clothes because they're gonna go through so many." And then I'm like, "What? My kid's only in their first outfit? Like what? How come it doesn't need another outfit?" Because some just don't like really spit up, but some do, right? So it's good
Yeah.
to like
And
be
you don't know what your
prepared.
baby's going to be like until they're here.
No, you have no idea. And like that's the one thing I had a lot of, but my girlfriend was like, I had a spitter upper and it was so important to have lots on hand because like you can't wash them all, like at the same
Yeah.
time. And so she gave me a lot of hers. And I remember I just had like this big like stash of them and I never used them. And it was
Oh,
just
wow.
funny, but some people do have to use a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
remember to have those.
for me, I use them for everything. So I use them for spitting up.
Swaddling.
And I cover the baby with them. So I might like wrap the baby in them. I might just use it as a blanket over them. I'll use it as like a changing pad if I'm out in public and I want a barrier between the baby and the surface I'm changing the baby on.
Yeah.
I might use it to put on the floor before I put baby down for tummy time.
Yeah.
Like that's why I use a lot of them because I just use them for everything. It's
Yeah.
like multi-purpose for me.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good idea.
So speaking of the spit up, they also have like special like bibs that are for like spitting up.
They do.
Yes, they're like the cloth material.
Yeah.
I guess they look more like handkerchiefs, but they're bibs, right?
I had some of those, yeah.
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 So some people,
Handkerchiefs, yeah.
yeah, some people really like that.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you could consider buying, whether it's before baby or if you just grab some after.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I think that probably covers most things. Oh, I guess you can think about like things like baby seats and swings and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
they have bouncy chairs
Go to bed when we're live.
and oh, we have a child awake.
And it's 10 o'clock.
Oh no. See, we are moms too, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Lorelai, bedtime. I'll come up soon. I'm almost done. Go lay down.
baby swings. Some babies, they absolutely love the swing and it's so calming, and other babies don't really care for it.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's like your saving grace because
Yeah.
some babies have colic and like that's the only thing that calms them
Yeah.
is like the motion. I have a friend who just had a baby and she was telling me that the baby's really cranky and she has to go for drives middle of the night sometime.
Oh, that must be so exhausting.
Oh, I can't imagine because I never had that, so I have no clue what that's like. But again, like, yeah, it's hard.
Sometimes it happens though.
Sometimes it happens. You never know, right? Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Being prepared is better than not being. So,
Yeah.
and you can get lots of stuff on buy and sell too, you guys. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
It doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to be the best of the best,
It
highest.
doesn't have to be a Mamaroo.
No.
It doesn't have to be like that, you know? Like it can totally be something that you buy and sell for $20.
Yeah. And even if you don't have anything except the essentials, you don't have to have all of these things.
No.
Babies will
Absolutely
survive.
not.
They've survived for many years before any of this existed. So there's
Amen, sister.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's also pacifiers or soothers if you decide you want to try that out.
Yep.
One thing to remember if you decide to go that route is a lot of babies are picky and they might not like the ones that you first try.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So you need to be willing to try a few different kinds if that's what you're wanting to use.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. And then some people also like to use white noise machines. You can buy lots of different kinds.
Yeah.
For your
The
babies.
sleep sheeps, all kinds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And most of them, they just run on a timer and
Yeah.
just run for a little bit. Some of them you can plug into a wall and have them going all night. So it depends.
Yeah.
But I think that probably about covers it.
Oh, yeah. Me. If you have any other things that you want to ask us about, put in the comments.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now we'll move on to Mama.
Yes. Mama should not be neglected just because there's a baby now. Remember that.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, so many moms, they don't even think of that. They're just always focused on the baby, the baby, the baby. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're left, you know? So
It's true.
think about yourself.
Yep.
Like supplies to heal.
Yes.
You know? Are you going to make yourselves like a healing ointment, like with witch hazel and stuff? You can make padsicles, you know, that because you're gonna be really swollen down there. So
yeah.
I never used them. Like I don't know, I got really lucky and very blessed, and like I didn't have any pain really the day after, so I never really used them.
Even if you're not in pain, it's still just nice.
It's good.
Because you did, especially if you had a vaginal birth, like you literally just pushed a baby out of there. So.
It swells, of course. I just never used them. I don't know why. I never did.
They're nice and soothing. That's why I like them. Just because it feels good. It's like when you sometimes like your muscles are sore and you don't even notice until you get into a hot bath or you have a massage, and then you're like, oh wow, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the same kind of thing is what I found.
Well, yeah, and you're like, you push a human out of there, so it will just help reduce swelling and just make it just a little bit cooler down there. So I say that a lot of people tell me that they love it. So make yourself some of those.
I guess we didn't really say what padsicles are in case someone is listening and doesn't know.
Yeah.
They're just
easy to make.
Frozen pads, like postpartum, like heavy pads.
Yeah.
And they're frozen, and you can add healing stuff to it, like witch hazel and aloe vera gel, maybe some essential oil like lavender or something.
Yeah, so you smell like potpourri down there.
That's right. Lavender does have many healing properties, but it also just smells good. And
It
then,
also just smells good, and
yeah,
after you birth a human, you
yeah,
don't really smell that good.
no, not with your postpartum bleeding, you're not. And that's normal.
Think about your period, but like 100 times worse.
Going on for a few weeks instead of one.
Yeah, like a month and a half. So
Yeah,
yeah, these are definitely something that serve a multi-purpose.
yeah. And then you can just do regular pads that are not frozen,
Yeah.
or you can do diapers or pull-ups for adults.
I did the diaper and I put a big pad inside of it so that they went way further.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, because if you just wear the diaper, they just get filled and then there's no purpose. But if you have a big
Yeah.
pad, then you can just let them go even longer and then they just don't leak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
True.
it's a good idea.
So sometimes it's nice to have both, and then you can kind of decide.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to be looking sexy when you're healing postpartum anyway. So wear that diaper and own it. That's
Wear
what I.
that diaper and own it. There you go. Yeah, it's important to know that you just birthed a human.
Yeah.
You're superwoman.
Yeah. And if you
Wear
did
that.
tear, um, you could get quite sore down there. And one
Yes.
thing that can help is buying a donut pillow to sit on.
Yes, absolutely. And your postpartum people, if you're in the hospital or you have a home birth or whatever with midwife, they'll give you usually some blue pads and they'll give you some diapers and they'll give you
Yeah.
some peri bottles. So they'll tell you to fill it up with hot water and then while you're peeing, you just spray it and then it can reduce the sting
Yeah. The Perry bottles literally just
and
looks like
promote
a
healing.
clear water bottle.
Yeah.
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 But not too hot because it will hurt, especially if you did tear, like it'll sting. So you
Yeah.
want it just warm, like a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people also like to do sitz baths in the first week,
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
even two,
Yeah.
which is basically just like a very shallow bath. You can do it in the bathtub, or you can buy special um, like sitz bath. I guess they're kind of like pots that sit in a toilet
Yeah.
so that you're like sitting right on that instead. But it works in the bathtub too, which is very shallow, like just
Yeah.
covering your perineum.
That area.
Yeah. And then you're just adding different healing herbs to it. So you can make your own if you do a little bit of research into what kind of herbs are best, or you can
Yeah.
buy pre-made packages.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good
Yeah.
idea too.
So a lot of people like that, or even just putting Epsom salts into a bath for a sitz bath, that can help.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sirree.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. It is nice to be able to do that as well.
Yep.
You will probably also want to have breast pads to put in.
Oh, yes.
Even if you're not breastfeeding, you will still produce some milk. And it will leak even more so then, but it leaks no matter what. And so it's just a little bit nicer to be able to help with that
Yeah.
by
Absolutely.
having something to soak it up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Good
again,
idea.
just like diapers, you can do reusable and you wash it, or you can buy disposable or you just throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So there's that as well.
Yeah.
And then thinking about your clothing that you're going to wear postpartum if you're breastfeeding. You want something that's accessible to be able to pull down to easily breastfeed baby, because if it's tight and it's covering up, it's going to be really difficult to breastfeed your child.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then there's also like special breastfeeding bras that you can buy as well.
Yeah.
They just unclip and pull down so you don't have to stretch out your regular bras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, like, educate yourself if you really do want to breastfeed, because some women, it can be so difficult. And, like, I had a really easy breastfeeding journey with 3 of my kids. They are now 10, 8, and 2.5 almost. And I had no issues at all. I'm so grateful. But it's not a bad thing to just educate yourself and just
Yeah.
know. And there's lots of options. Like, it is hard. Sometimes the baby doesn't latch properly. Sometimes you have inverted nipples. There's lots of options out there. So just have some education, and then just know that, there's lactation consultants who can help you. And also, if you hire a doula, like me and Petra, we can also, as doulas, we can also help you guys as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So important to educate yourself, because I feel like a lot of women don't, and they just think, I've had so many friends say they just thought, oh, it's just going to be so easy, and then they try it and it's a struggle, and then they get postpartum depression because of it, because they feel so down on themselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, why not just have a little bit of education, so you might be able to avoid that.
That is true.
Yeah.
And knowing that the baby will get enough most of the time
Mm-hmm.
if you're feeding on demand. That's
Yeah.
what the research shows, is that typically there are obviously certain circumstances that are like they're not the case, but the majority of women will be able to produce enough if baby is feeding on demand.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest way to make sure you have a good supply if you're wanting to breastfeed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And basically just watching the baby's output in the diaper. Do they have enough pees and poos? If the answer is yes, then they are breastfeeding enough.
Yeah.
And if the baby is wanting to eat more, it's not because you're not producing enough. It's because they are growing, and it's the supply and demand. So they're asking for more, so your body will produce more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they go through so many growth spurts in the beginning. Like, it feels like it's nonstop.
You
Because it
feel like they're
happens
just
a
on
lot.
your boob all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that doesn't mean your supply is not good enough. It just means that baby's growing and your body is helping that baby grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a whole entire episode on breastfeeding. If anyone is interested in listening to that one, you can just
Yeah,
go
it's a
look
good
back.
one. Breastfeeding 101.
Yeah.
Definitely go check that out. I feel like you can never be too prepared for breastfeeding. I think it's so important, especially because so many moms want to do it. And then when there's a roadblock, a lot give up because they just get frustrated.
Yeah.
Just know that there are many options.
There is. Yeah.
And if for some reason it still doesn't work, fed is best.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
that is okay if your baby has, formula, or if you do both.
Yeah.
You can do that too.
Yep. Exactly.
And also, another way to have a good supply, is our next point, is going to be your diet. I cannot stress that enough. When I had Ben, I was terrible. I had no energy. I was exhausted. Well, duh. Keith would come home. He'd be like, oh, what did you eat? I'm like, maybe a piece of toast. And then he's like, but then the baby ate it. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
So hydrate, 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 hydrate. Always
It's
have a
true.
water bottle. Always have a water bottle.
Always. Yes.
Always by your bed, because you are going to be so thirsty.
Yes.
So, and like, it does make a huge difference when you are taking the right, you are eating really healthy, and you make yourself lactation cookies, which are like oatmeal. Oatmeal is so good for production. There's
Yeah.
so many different things that you can make, little protein bites, all kinds of things,
Yeah.
and even just have a couple by your bedside because you're going to be getting up in the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm.
for a while because that baby's going to grow and they're going to eat a lot. So
It's true. With all 4 of mine so far, the first few months, I'd say, I was always hungry in the middle of the night. I had to have snacks
always,
and water beside my bed before I try to go to sleep.
I always did. I
Yeah.
always did. And mine was peanut butter toast and orange juice. I was
That's funny.
obsessed. Even after I had, like, even before I would have peanut butter toast and orange juice. So, yes, snacks are definitely good.
Yeah. I always have at least crackers or something like that.
Yeah,
And then I always fill up a big giant water bottle or a big giant cup of water.
yeah, absolutely. Because, yeah, you're going to be thirsty.
Yeah.
Important.
Yes. And preparing yourself for a change in sleep schedule.
Oh, gosh.
That
Yeah.
is important too.
And it still goes on when they're older.
You can.
It can. It absolutely can.
And you never
But yeah,
know what kind of child you're going to have, if they're going to be a good sleeper or if they're going to be a little bit more trouble. And there's lots of different methods, lots of ways to try to get your baby to sleep. But in the end, there's multiple factors to it, right?
yeah, there's so many things.
But for sure, the first 3 months, babies almost always, obviously there's the exceptions, but most of the time they wake up many, many times in the night wanting to breastfeed and needing diaper changes.
Yeah,
And it's for a reason. Their circadian rhythm has not kicked in yet. They don't know day from night until around 3 months of age. Because when they were in the womb, when you were awake, you're walking, you're moving, you're talking, it's soothing the baby, they're falling asleep. You go to sleep at night, you lay down. Oh, the baby now wakes up. So that was the normal routine.
yeah, absolutely. And they sometimes do that also when they come out. I remember Ben, he would do that at night at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then when he was born, he did the same thing.
Yeah. It is
So
funny how they can do that.
it is. And also, like, it is just a season. And, ask for help when you need it. Sleep when you can, when the baby's sleeping.
Yeah.
It's important to just be mindful of that in yourself because if mama's not, rested and happy, then baby won't be either.
You
So
can't take care of your baby if you don't take care of yourself.
you can't pour from an empty cup, mamas don't.
No.
So it's really important to think about that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And another part of taking care of your health is thinking about the meals.
Yeah. So do what Petra did. Prep some
Yep.
stuff.
Prep. I like to make stuff ahead of time in my third trimester and freeze it. So that includes meals and snacks. And this time around, I've even done juicing and I froze the juice in ice cube trays. So I just pop out a few ice cubes, let it melt a little, and then I get to drink like my own juice, like juiced carrots and lemons or juiced apples and cucumbers or whatever it is that I choose.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you can do so many different meals and snacks that you can freeze. Like there's so many options out
You
there.
can make banana bread. That's super easy and
Yeah.
freeze it. It lasts a long time. Cookies,
Yeah.
muffins,
Yeah. I did a
lasagnas.
whole bunch of egg casserole this time around. I made some homemade hamburger helper and I just froze that in a large Ziploc bag so that it's like flat, right?
Yeah.
You can freeze lasagnas and you can freeze different types of wraps.
Yeah.
A lot of soups will freeze well. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many ideas. All you have to do is go online and search I don't know, like freezer meals or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many.
Yeah, lots.
it'll just make it a little bit easier once you have the baby. And
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is have a new baby. You're trying to heal from just giving birth, and then you have to slave over the stovetop. I mean, it also depends on the support that you have around you, right? Some people are really blessed and they have great support, whether
so
it's
much. Yeah.
a husband that's very, very involved in helping, whether it's a mother or mother-in-law that comes over and stays, whether it's like friends that come and do stuff. There's so many different people that could help in some people's lives. But then there's also some people who don't have that opportunity to have all that help.
Yeah.
So either way, it's nice to be able to just have stuff prepared.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even you can even go as far as going and buying disposable dishes for the first couple weeks even. Just say,
buy, just buy
less dishes.
paper plates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Less stress for you.
Yeah.
We got to prepare ourselves, ladies.
Yes.
Prepare.
Yeah. And then also just remembering, I guess, to take care of yourself and remember that you have an identity that's separate from your baby still.
Yeah.
Yes, you're taking care of that baby and they rely on you, but you're still a person.
Yeah.
You're still beautiful, even though you've gone through all of these changes.
Yeah.
Your body will not be the exact same as it was before birth. That is a fact.
It will not.
Many things can change.
I still am just like, what the heck?
Yeah. And that's totally normal. It's just a part of creating and
Part
birthing
of
humans, right?
creating.
Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't change it for the world, but
It is so worth it. Yeah.
it's hard. Don't be so hard on yourselves.
Yeah. If it wasn't
One
worth
pieces
it,
are cute.
yeah. If it wasn't worth it, people would not have more than one child. They'd have one baby and they'd be like, what is this? That's the only thing anyone would ever do.
Yeah, like when Petra had Abby her last and said, I'm never doing that again. And here we are.
Here we are, 3 weeks out from my due date. Hey, you got your thumbs up on the screen again.
Because he likes me.
Somebody likes you.
Oh, he likes me, yeah.
That's funny.
I don't even know what it is.
Doesn't do
What
it for
the
me.
heck is happening? Even when you do that, it doesn't do it. It's like when you laugh, like, then it does.
That's so funny.
Oh, anyways. Yeah. Take care of yourselves, ladies.
Yeah, that's
It's worth it.
the takeaway.
That is the takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just remember it's really easy to think about like preparing for your birth and what you envision that's going to be like, but it's even more important to think about what's going to happen after you're home with that baby. How do you take care of you? How do you take care of the baby? And accepting or even asking for help if you need it. Which, let's face it, we all do need it after we have a baby.
Yeah. And people don't know how to ask for that yet.
Yeah. And the help can be from family members. It could be from friends. It could be from
Postpartum
doulas. It could be from people that are just in different types of community, like your church. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody. And it's okay. I mean, I feel like we just always feel like, oh, we have to have it all together, and like
You don't.
And it really does take a village.
Yeah.
Because even if you have to raise a child,
it does take a village. Yeah. And even if you have a great like recovery and you're like, oh, I don't feel that bad, you still need to sleep. You still need to have time to like go shower without your baby having to be held because they're screaming. Like you don't know what your circumstance is going to be. Even the best babies, like they still take a lot of attention, right?
And you have to know that you grow a actual organ in your body and it detaches when you give birth, and that's what comes out.
Yes.
And you don't see it on the outside, but you have this huge hole there and it needs to heal.
Yeah.
And you need to take care of yourself so that you do heal okay and that you don't have complications and you don't bleed more or hemorrhage. So
Yeah.
it's important to know that like you need to slow down and like you need to rest. Moms, milk it as much as you can.
Absolutely.
In African culture, apparently, this is what Mum B was telling me, Petra, is that the only time the mom is with the baby is when they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're resting. They are not raising a finger. They are not getting up. They are not moving. They are not doing dishes. They are not doing laundry. They are not cooking.
Yeah.
They are not driving. They are not doing anything. They are resting. And I was like, well, doesn't that sound nice, Mom B? I just laughed. I was like, girl, I wish. I said, I don't
Yeah.
have that.
A lot of cultures actually have traditions
Yes.
like that where you have
Yeah.
family or friends that come and they help do all of the work for you.
Yes.
They call it the resting in period, I think.
Yeah. And guess what? I'd never had that. And so I
I
never
didn't
did
either.
that.
Yeah. We're the crazy ones in North America where we try to pretend we have it all together and that we're good, we're perfect. I
We're
got it under
also,
control. I don't need your help, but
we are also very blessed though, because in Canada versus the States, like a mom's postpartum and like parental leave is like 6 weeks in the States.
in
And we
some
get like
yeah.
18 months, a year to 18 months here in Canada. And so we
Sure,
are
that's
really, really blessed. Yeah. I can't imagine. I really can't. How can they think that at 6 weeks a mom can go back to work?
I don't know.
Blows my mind. Anyways, I
This
digress.
is crazy.
Yeah, it is getting really late. So
Yeah. So I guess the main takeaway from that is you can ask for help. That is okay.
always,
And
always.
if it's offered, accept. Don't
Yes.
hesitate.
Like if I tell Petra I'm coming to make you a meal, just accept it. You
I'll
know,
say
like
yes. Sure.
yes,
Please.
yes, yes. Of course,
Yeah,
you have to. You
exactly.
have to. Just like I told my friend who just had a baby and it's been 10 years and, you know, she's wanted a baby and now they finally have a baby and like it's going to be hard and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there as much as I can be, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
because that's what you do.
Yeah. So we covered a lot today, but
Mhm.
hopefully if you were looking for some ideas on how to prep after you have your baby, hopefully this helped give you some of those ideas and helps you prepare a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than feeling like you're totally unprepared. You'll always have a little bit of that feeling, but you want to be able to feel,
Always.
you know what? I think I kind of got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to us on whichever platform you're listening from.
Mm-hmm.
And we really, really appreciate all of you guys. And if you have a moment, feel free to leave a review. Let us know what you like, even what you don't like. We have thick enough skin. We'll take it.
Yes, of course.
And if you have any more ideas of other topics that you guys would like to hear about, let us know.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
What
What
the
the
mom?
mom?